Our goal today is to put the same keeper on this hook as we do have on this owner jungle flipping. Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. You know, I like to tinker around with tackle and do some different DIY modifications to baits and different things like that. And today that's what I'm going to talk about. I actually did a video a while back that was creating a soft plastic bait keeper for your extra wide gap type hooks so that your soft plastics don't slide down the shank of the hook or slide down the offset portion. Keeps them on there, and actually you end up going through less soft plastics. So this video is going to be about do-it-yourself DIY soft plastic bait keeper for your straight shank hooks. You're going to need a few items in order to do this. Number one, you're going to need your favorite straight shank hook. You're going to need a fly tying vise. Well, you don't actually need a fly tying vise. It would just make life a whole lot more simple if you had some hemostats or some sort of locking pliers and you could put them in a vise. That would work as well, but a fly tying vise really makes the job easier. You're going to need some fly tying thread. You're going to need some galvanized wire or some stainless steel wire that you might get in the saltwater section at Bass Pro Shops. You're probably going to need a 3-inch section of that fly tying thread. And then last, you either need super glue or you're going to need some sort of fingernail polish, preferably a clear fingernail polish to seal off everything. When I'm casting a bait, I like these owner cutting points. I feel like these owner cutting points work really well if you're throwing a big Texas rig worm, soft stick bait like an Ocho or Senko type bait. It's an owner cutting point, straight worm, wide gap, model 5103. And this is a 5/0. It's got a XXX strong metal, and I like it a lot. Other than these couple barbs right here, there's nothing to keep the bait from sliding down the shank. The main goal, and what I'm going to try to demonstrate, is how to put this type of keeper, like the owner jungle flipping hook, on this owner straight shank worm hook. First thing to do is put the hook in the fly tying vise like this, hook point down, so you can work on this section here. Number one, if you're using wire, I'm using some galvanized wires. Just take some pliers and cut that section off of there too. So, not a very long piece, but basically you're just gonna bend this in half. You can see that there, I'm just bending it in half. I'm gonna take my pliers and go ahead through the rest of the crimping process. And I want that nice and parallel. So once you have that section and you bend it in half, that's what you should end up with. It's just doubled over. Now you're gonna take and bend that so that you have this angle here. And then this portion, this straight section, is where you're gonna wrap your line around. I'll show you that here in a second. If you don't do any fly tying, this is called a bobbin, this metal device to hold the thread in place. It does help. You don't have to have it, but like I said, it does help. So you got the bobbin. I'm going to take my thread and just start wrapping it from right at the eye and then over this piece here and just keep working down. At this point, you could cut this extra thread off. And you just keep working down. I like to keep it nice and tight. See, the bobbin keeps it where all this is manageable. And then I'm going to take my wire piece, my little L-shaped angle like that, and I'm going to put the loop section towards the front and then start wrapping down as well. And I just try to keep the wraps right next to each other. Now I have a little 3-inch section of thread here, and I'm going to double that over just like this, creating a loop like that. And I'm going to actually put that down and I'm going to run those parallel to what I'm wrapping. So, and then I'm going to wrap back up just to give it more stability so it doesn't move around too much. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the thread. I'm just going to take the end of that thread and put it through the loop like that. I'm going to pull these to the tag ends, pull those tight, pulling that thread underneath the wraps, creating a secure knot. So that's what you have there. I've wrapped it down and then over that little metal piece, trying to see what's the best way to show it to you. And then just cut it clean. Now, you could either use super glue or some clear fingernail polish. Since this is what I have on hand, I'm just going to take this and just daub it all around here. This will keep the threads from unraveling. At this point, you can take it off the vise. So I'm just going to run it over all the thread, and this will help to lock it in. Essentially what you end up having is that right there with this little keeper right there. That thread will not unravel because of that loop, because you took the tag in and put it through the loop and pulled it underneath the thread. It keeps it all underneath all those final wraps, and when you pull on it, it cinches it down, works really well. So now you have a keeper on that side and a couple of barbs on that side, and that'll keep your worm from sliding down. So that's your DIY creating a soft plastic worm keeper for your straight shank hooks. I hope that wasn't too difficult or hard to follow. Please let me know in the comments if you had a hard time with that. It's really quite simple and it seems pretty labor intensive, but it's really not that big of a deal, and it's a great way to have your straight shank hooks have a soft plastic keeper so your baits don't slide down the hook. And then you can take any worm hook that you like that's a straight shank hook and make it something that has a keeper. There are a lot of things in bass fishing that make a difference from an engineering standpoint that keep fish hooked and help you hook and land more fish. So thank you guys for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully this is something that helps. If you can, share this with other fishing friends that you have. They may get something from this quick and quite simple idea. It's not something revolutionary, but it is something that does help. And so I hope that does put more fish in the boat for you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, good fishing.